It's jail yards and ball fields this week on the Indy Ball Report podcast. We're back. Episode 372. No, we don't care. He threw a no-hitter. Right off the hop. Yeah, so it was an exciting week in baseball. A certain somebody threw a no-hitter that we will unfortunately be obligated to talk about less than a week after saying we're done talking about him.
I feel bad. My main takeaway was God, Lancaster's terrible.
You're not wrong. That was my immediate thing here. I'm just glad it wasn't just me and it wasn't my cope taking over. But actually though.
I don't know. I'm just chatting with multiple teams about, how would you have your guys approach them? Everyone says the same thing. It's what we've been saying on the podcast.
Yeah.
Have some
made him out.
Self-control at the dish, boys. Nope. Lancaster opted for not that every time. It was just, and I mean, look, it was 7 innings also. So it's almost like winning a Cy Young during the COVID season. That was the tweet I should have dropped, by the way, was 7-inning no-hitter. What is this, winning a Cy Young in 2020? I don't know. On one hand, I have valid criticisms of it. On the other hand, you have to be like, he did it.
It very much is you in no circumstances have to hand it to him. That being said, it was a very nice start against one of the most inept hitting teams. I say one of the most because Staten Island, oh my God, is a train wreck. I know.
I just pulled another stat, so let me know when the time comes because I just pulled another wild one on them.
Yeah, I feel like the natural progression is just to go into talking about week 2 of the Atlantic League season. There's not all that much here this week. We are talking ball for a lot, and then we'll get to the big house ball game towards the end of the pod here. But I do want to talk ball off the hop here. Keeping with the Lancaster, Long Island theme for right now, independent of whatever the hell Bauer has done, they are still a good team, and we knew that walking in, that they were a reloaded, really good team. Ryan Sandberg's also looked very good. He was perfect for how many innings as well against that team too. So he's had a very solid performance there. As a whole, they look pretty good. The flip side here, Lancaster, man, that is a team that's got some big questions around it, right? I've been flaming them a lot here, which again, I'm going to harp on this whenever I see it because again, I look out for the best interest of indie ball. We have to stop cucking ourselves to other teams in the league here. And every time I see a team do it, you're going to get the hotel chair. It's going to happen here. I am sorry. Do not promote the fact that you just got no hit. I don't care who no hit you. Don't promote that. That's a bad look.
Embarrassing.
It's desperate attention seeking.
But you got to sell tickets. It's like, dude, have some pride. I'm uncomfortable with it. And some teams did it promoting Brandon Phillips being around when he was in the league. I was a little uncomfortable with that. I have seen it, with other players a little bit too, but it's one thing to be like, well, we got to sell tickets. I understand. It's another thing entirely when it's, questionable repute we'll go with. That's a level, man, of what are we doing out here? You're the Lancaster Stormers. You can move tickets. This is crazy. And I just think
Mennonites watch baseball too, man. Come on.
Yeah, and if they don't have Google, they'll be pretty impressed. But I think, I guess to verbalize it, it's one thing to sign the guy and be like, well, he's moving tickets. Okay. It's another to have not even signed him, have him drop a no-hitter on you, and you're still promoting him. It's like, man, you gotta get real. And that's the issue where that's where the marketing, I think that's, so that I don't even know. Cause sometimes I blame that on, it's marketing run amok on that one. Somebody on the baseball site needs to step in and be like, whoa, come on now. That's a bridge too far. Not to say at which there are times where I think baseball ops needs to step in and be like, oh, that's not how we're promoting this because, for the long-term health of the actual ball club, it's not good. There's other times where it's just, hey, don't do that. That's a bad move. But my other thing is, I don't even know if it's not even good marketing in my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, like here's the
It's
thing.
hard to
Like,
compare attendance numbers because it was a Sunday doubleheader. So it's like, I don't really know exactly what we were looking at. But even if they're
that's the
selling the
thing.
tickets, you're Lancaster, you get good turnout.
That's
We're going
part
to
of
make or
it.
break
The
it or
other
one or
part of
two
it
games.
is, to me, is like the way they went about doing it. It's just like, so please like me, please pick me. Look how much we are. We had this here. Isn't this so cool? You're
Mm-hmm.
promoting an opponent doing well against you. Like it makes so little sense to me. I refuse to believe he's that much of a drive for your opponents. For Long Island, I understand entirely. Like they're making a lot of money. They're moving a lot of t-shirts. They're getting a lot of eyes. Now, granted, most people leave after he's done, but it only matters if they walk in the door and buy the ticket. So, like, I get it. I understand why they did it. I disagree with it because I still firmly believe, regardless of the no-hitter in the first start, that he's going to wind up with a 4.38 ERA in this league, be a run-the-mill starter, and generally, I think he's an ass at best. So,
Well, I also think, I mean, maybe we are being a little too harsh. Like, I do think some credit is owed to Lancaster in a way because Lancaster is a fairly safe city. It's nice. I mean, every city has its areas, whatever. But if you're a woman walking around Lancaster, safest you've ever been is when you know every dude who supports Trevor Bauer is tucked away in that stadium for a couple hours. You can walk around town freely, leave the mace.
oh God, those comments under the Long Island Post saying we got the shirts back in stock were phenomenal in the worst way possible.
Really? I missed that one. Did you see? Oh yeah, I had some likes on the one I dropped. Yo, if you're Long Island, you cannot be posting Trevor Bauer's strikeouts and calling them punch outs. You idiot. You actual moron.
Where they actually called them punch outs?
Yeah. That's why I literally commented on it.
Oh my God. The only way that could get worse is if they tweeted during a start going, he has a stranglehold on this game. That's the only way it could get worse. They had to be engagement farming, right?
I don't know, man.
This makes us look bad, guys. It makes us look bad.
7 punch outs, no hits. At Bauer outage was feeling it today in Lancaster. 148 comments. I said, I'm sure he's had more punch outs. And the one that gets me too, and I don't know how you're going to add all this because I know you've been harping on it. I'm not sure how people like to hear it, but what gets me is this. There is truly no morally bankrupt group of people than sports team owners, especially ones who want wins. You don't think if he was good,
oh yeah, serious, please.
Aroldis Chapman fired a gun over his girlfriend's head. He hasn't missed a season.
Hey Ryan, is Marcell Ozuna playing this year?
Marcell Ozuna is in fact playing this year. Odubel Herrera, the Phillies wouldn't even buy out his contract until he actually sucked. They let him keep playing for another year as the video was out of him throwing hands with that woman in Atlantic City. Literally, he allegedly, and again, we're going to say wasn't even convicted or whatever, abused somebody. And he can't get a job in a league that also gave a job to Odubel Herrera after he abused somebody. I swear I had this one too. It's because he's conservative and outspoken. I can't tell you how at home he'd be. If you think that's it, friend, I can't even.
MLB is probably the second most conservative league among the major professional sports leagues, topped only by the NHL.
I don't think it is. I think it's higher than the NHL, man.
Oh, no, I don't. I think you really undersell these boys.
Maybe. It's crazy. Like, again, I don't know. I don't, because part of me, it's again, that question of like, well, you know, how much do you want? I know baseball has a disproportionate number of fans who also, I think, would be fine with this. And so I don't know. I'm not going to try to like overly harp on this and kill your podcast numbers, but like, man, I think everybody involved here should be ashamed. And by the way, let's not forget here, if you have an issue with this, feel free to write a letter to Rev Entertainment. They're the proud new owners of Long Island Ducks. They seem to be having a great time. If this is helping ticket sales, I'm sure a bottom line we're into business is thrilled. And now Rev, who I did reach out to and start a conversation about getting what's his face on the podcast, the dude higher up there, if he has a name already. And then they said, "Oh yeah, man, I'll reach out, get a schedule." Never follow back up. Classic. Maybe we can get them on to discuss Trevor. That'd be great.
What do you think of the odds that happens?
I don't know. And by the way, if you see his, I will say there was one difference in his pitching from what I saw. From the first outing we saw, because we were talking about that curveball dives out of the zone. It was doing that, but a lot of it was more in the zone, and didn't look intentional. And it literally is just these Lancaster hitters could not do anything with it. Like, I mean, we're talking, I don't even know which batter really stuck out on it, but I can pull it in like 1 second here, because it was the most egregious. Joseph Carpenter, who's good. And I mean, the most hanging curveball just like fouled away. Like, okay. All right, boys. Like, this is what we're doing here. All right. So I don't know. Again, what's his next outing?
Should be this weekend, I think.
Lexington.
Lexington.
So Lexington. We'll see. Lexington's offense is fine, but, we'll see. They're also buoyed by the fact they played Charleston a bunch. So that could be ugly. I mean, they did put up 6 against Long Island tonight, and there was some good pitching for Long Island, even when the local sex offender's not on the mound. So I think it could be interesting. I suspect Lexington's going to have a bad time.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if they don't, by the way. It'd be funny if they just absolutely murk it. People are really looking. But I suspect that next outing is the one that we kind of circle. Hagerstown again.
That's the interesting one. They're hitting
Hagerstown
good.
Has already seen him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's going to be fascinating. And then it's Gastonia. And then it's High Point, which has been.
So it could be the rough 3 stretch after this.
We'll see. We'll see. If he rips through that, I have very little defense for. Then I think he sucks as a person.
Fair enough. And then I think he'll have York after that. For whatever
I think he might miss it. Maybe. Yeah. It depends on, I think he's only pitching once a series though. So they might keep, I don't know if they're trying to do an actual 5-man with him.
I mean, even still though, if it's 6-game series, he's going to have to pitch.
It's a 3-game.
Oh, it's 3-gamer?
Yeah. They have 3 with Lancaster, 3 with 3 with York, 3 with Lancaster, and then 6 with Staten Island. Which, boy, him against Staten Island is going to be it. That's look out for no-hitter number 2, by the way. I will say it now. I think he could no-hit Staten Island.
It would be funny if Staten Island was the one that lit him up, though.
It'd be really funny, right?
To circle back to Lancaster real quick, because they're not off the hot seat yet. Mm-hmm. That's a bad team.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a really bad team. I mean, they are, I also think, getting bailed out by some other team in their division, which we'll get to.
Oh, yes, they'll get their bit here. We'll get the negative teams and negative things out of the way early on, because that's what people love.
Well, and let's be clear. So right now, as we sit here today, it's Hagerstown 7-2, Maryland supremacy reigning in both divisions, Long Island at 6-3, Lancaster at 4-5, York at 3-6, Staten Island at 1-8. And you might be thinking, why are we giving a bag of crap to Lancaster and not York? York's run differential is plus 13. Despite their 3-6 record. It has been a very different feeling 3-6. Like they've just been through it. Lancaster is not good. This is bad. This is how do you say, a bad thing.
It's very troubling is what this is. I mean, like you look at the two, and that's the thing for me. It's like, I know it's early on, so it's hard to say like, oh, they had an easy schedule. Oh, they had a hard schedule. As with the exception of Staten Island games, which, I mean, everyone's looked good against Staten Island so far. Who exactly have we been able to point at and go, yeah, next to them, Lancaster looks good?
Yeah. I mean,
right?
Staten Island, yeah.
It's pretty much, right? And at least with York, you're like, okay, they did good against Lancaster, then they got Hagerstown struggling, which says more to me about Hagerstown being a good team than York struggling. And Now, of course, I'm still very wary of any Mark Minikasi-led team because history dictates the first half is never the problem. It's the
Right.
second half that's the problem here. But hey, you're 7-2. That speaks volumes to me. So
Mhm.
I think it's partially that. And like, yes, you could argue, well, I mean, Lancaster then didn't have an easy. They've had 2 out of their 3 series difficult so far, right? Because what they opened with York and then went Long Island after that.
Yeah.
So, that's not exactly an easy one too, but I mean, damn, man, it has been encouraging.
Right. And if we look at like York's losses, right? So 2 against Hagerstown, which is we're beginning to get a feeling like Hagerstown's a good team.
Mm.
And then they just got swept by Gastonia, but the last 2 losses were in a doubleheader today, both of them 1-run games. Like they get blown out in game 1, but okay, weird stuff happens. That was mostly, that score was a lot worse because there was like a real implosion from like one bullpen guy, right? So,
Yeah.
There's that. But then even so, okay, even if York is that bad, right? The type of team that loses 5 out of 6 to Hagerstown and Gastonia, no explanation. They still ran up a 22-7 and a 15-2 win on Lancaster. So even if York is a concern, what does that say about Lancaster? So that's kind of where I'm coming from with why we're dunking on Lancaster. Like nothing about you can watch a York game and be like, damn, like they easily could have taken 2 out of 3 from Gastonia and we're just not even talking about them right now.
I mean, if we're to trust York's like expected win-loss according to this I-score,
yeah,
which again, it's still new, so I'm not sure how much I'm trusting predictive metrics on here, but it says they should be 5-4. So like they're a better team than what they've shown so far.
Yeah, that quick mental math does check out on that one. And again, just run differential wise, York's run differential is plus 13, Lancaster's is minus 19, largely on the back of what York did to them. So yeah, it is what it is. That's why we're concerned about it. And I mean, yeah, it's just,
it becomes a tougher problem to fix the further we go along here, right? Because early on, it's going to be tougher to fix it because most of your replacement guys, and we were talking about the soft pod, are still in camp either with affiliated minor leagues, foreign leagues, or in the other indie leagues. So where are the guys going to come from to fix this problem, right? And by the time that they become available, now it's a little too late for this first half. Now, again, it is Lancaster. We expect them to play half the season and then do something in the postseason. But how long does that go on for where that's acceptable?
Agreed. And I mean, they have an 8.25 ERA over 9 games at this point.
They can't do that. Good.
All right. I mean, wow, Lexington's giving up 20 home runs. Sorry. It is a home run ballpark, but still. And essentially, I mean, they're walking more than 6 per 9. They're giving up over 10 hits per 9. It's just a ton of base runners. I mean, they have nearly 2 whip right now. So yeah, it's, I mean, the company they're in pitching wise, like statistically, is Staten Island, who we will get to, and Charleston, who, if you're not watching, Charleston just doesn't have the pitching staff that they will be having in the future. And I think thought they'd be having at this point in time. So that's like, they're working to solve it. Charleston's openly like, well, this isn't the pitching staff we wanted. This feels like a more intentional effort from Lancaster. So I don't know. I mean, Lancaster's still making roster moves, I think, just about every day. So I choose to believe they're aware of it as well, but yeah, it's tough.
They're kind of limited by what they can do. I mean, if the offense doesn't at least show up and help out, like, what are we doing here? And again, I can't really trust anything you do against Staten Island. I guess this is the point where we just jump over to talk about them because we keep referencing it. So at the very least, you should probably provide the baseline of what we're talking about. But if you can't do anything against any other team besides them, it's going to be a really tough hill to climb because this North Division looks like a pretty good division between Hagerstown, Long Island, and York right now. You know, it can get late early for the first half, and then you're really putting all your eggs in the basket there. And like we've been saying, Staten Island's just a bad team right now. They got 1 win. That's probably where they should be. Yep. They haven't won on the road yet. They're 0-6 there. A minus 55 run differential. I believe that's the worst in the league. It's not, I'll be stunned. Yeah. I mean, it is. they haven't looked good. They don't have the horses. And this is the thing that we said coming into the year, like, hey, we're concerned deeply about that. And it's bearing fruit pretty early on. Those concerns were well founded.
I mean, yeah, they're going to a manager who doesn't, I wouldn't say has experience putting together a roster at this level. And from all sourcing around the team, the investment is not there from ownership at this point. It's just, what's his face said all the right things coming in. What is his name? Oh, man. Thank you very much. Greek guy. And he,
the Greek roaster.
He's basically said all the right things coming in, like, oh no, we're going to reinvest in the idea. No, he's looking to move on. And there's no additional investment. They already weren't investing much in this roster. They're definitely not doing it now, in my opinion, and in the opinion of others closer to the situation. Yeah, it's this team is, I don't see them changing much this year. Like, they might, revert to the mean a little bit just because you kind of have to, but I don't know, man. It's looking not good.
I mean, like, you look at it, and realistically, I would say there's only one Atlantic League batter in this lineup right now, and that's Brandon Wagner, and he struck out 18 times in 29 plate appearances or 29 at bats. I mean, that's horrendous. 2 walks to that. And the thing is, you could go ahead and say, like, that's pretty bad. And again, I know batting average is what it is. Here are some of the batting averages of routine everyday guys. Guys that have played appearances of 20 or more. Okay. You have one person batting 194, another person batting 179. That'd be Blake Rutherford, the former major leaguer, mind you. 160. And then it gets lower from there because you have someone batting in Lamar Briggs batting 83. That's correct, 83. And then the lowest everyday starter would be Luis Attiles, who is batting 74. Admittedly, those last 2 guys have drawn 8 and 7 walks respectively. But even still, you cannot hit under 100. You cannot have each 2 hits on the year. That's unacceptable. Through 9 games, 2 hits?
Yeah, I'm just running some quick math because I think it's going to blow people away. I mean, even just the basic math of average on that.
Think of this here. Just again, to point it out here, we're going to exclude Nick Dexter from this because he has exactly 6 plate appearances, so that is not nearly enough of a sample size for me to do anything.
Nick Decker?
Decker.
Yeah, Decker's good, by the way. I vouch for Decker. I mean, there's a limited movement there, but like he belongs on a roster.
Yeah, so I'm going to exclude him though because he has 6 plate appearances thus far this year. I don't think that's really enough of a sample size to be able to say anything. Nobody else on this team, with the exception of Wagner, is batting above 200. There's a few guys have 200, but everybody else is below it. So
their top 10 guys, the 10 guys who have more than 10 at bats, we'll say it that way.
Okay.
Their average is 167.
The on base isn't much better, folks.
Yeah, kind of crazy. Brandon Wagner's putting up those numbers in this situation, frankly.
We got 4 guys with on base over 300. That includes Decker, by the way, who again has 2 hits and 6 plate appearances. That's why he has that.
Yeah, so it's bad.
Oh, and Lamar Briggs, the guy that's batting under 100, has the 3rd best right now because he draws walks.
I mean, the average OPS in that grouping is like a 535, which you don't like to see.
It's bad.
It's
really bad.
The other one I saw is I ran the numbers on. Every once in a while, I'll just pull this out. I don't even know what it's indicative of other than general health of things a lot of the time. Is strikeouts thrown versus strikeouts forced upon you. The best team has a ratio of striking out 1.339 batters per strikeout, essentially. So, York has struck out, For every one time they strike out the plate, they're striking out about almost 1.4 guys on the other team. The second worst team in this is High Point, who has a .875. So for every time they strike out, they are striking out .87 batters on the other team. Staten Island is at a .57. So for, I mean, if we want to simplify it,
doubled up.
Every 100 times that they strike out, they're striking out 57 opponents. And I'd say not how they drew it up, but like, I kind of am like, I don't know how else they could have drawn it up. And that's, if I'm giving benefit of the doubt, I'm like, they had to have expected this. And there are teams who go into it like it's going to be rough, at least to start. Now they might be feeling like they can improve it. I think that's overly optimistic, but I mean, I don't know.
Like, I want to say the pitching is better too, just to shift gears to that.
Right. But
because like, there are 2 or 3 guys here that aren't giving up that many runs.
Okay.
I mean, I look at a guy like Kevin Dowdell. He looks to be pretty solid so far. Although, I mean, 6 walks and nearly 6 innings, exactly encouraging. Stephen Woods is nice. He's a solid pitcher there. John Kelly's kind of interesting, but 11 walks in 5 innings. Oh, dear God, I'm going to stroke out with nearly 3. And he's not the only one. He's not the only one. He's not even the highest.
Nope. No, like there are guys with numbers that would get them released from any other team in this league who are not even the guy who they're like, well, we can't give the ball to him.
There's guys here on this team that should be released from Frontier League teams, to be blunt. I mean, like, I hate being cruel, but I mean, like, this is kind of an embarrassment at this point. And I get it, It's 9 games in, it's a small sample size. 9 games into a first half that's 63 games long is rapidly closing in on a fifth of the way through the first half.
I was telling you pre-pod that I run, for every game, essentially, I run the numbers on how many runs created versus runs created by the opponent. Basically, just how many runs, kind of should they have scored in a vacuum?
Yeah.
Because sometimes things just don't line up, but your offense is clicking, you just had a weird game and you didn't score a lot. On average, the pitching is allowing about 7 runs created per game. And on average, the batting is scoring about 1.1 runs per game, maybe 1.2, which is crazy to think about. With that, there were 2 games where they literally produced negative run value offensively. And one where they had 0.1 run value in the game.
How do you produce negative value?
So few hits and so many strikeouts. So, like, for example, their worst game where they had like negative 0.4 run value. So basically, you could have spotted the makings of 0.4 runs, and they would have broke even on it with a 0. But they had 23 at bats, 2 hits, 4 walks. Both hits were a single, and they struck out 7 times and did literally nothing else. Like, so that's how you have negative run value right there. Their craziest was at one point they allowed 14.5 run value, and they had 0.08 offensively. Their best offensive game is a 6.8 runs created. Then every other game, all 8 other games they've played have been worse than the worst offensive game they've allowed, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So basically, if you take the very worst game, so basically the best pitching game they've had, if you take that, they still have only outscored the other team's production in their best pitching game. They only outscored it once. So yeah, man, it's dire. It's dire. I think this is worse than Hagerstown looked last year. I think that's fair to say.
I could get along with that. Yeah. I mean, at least Hagerstown had a couple guys where you're like, okay, they're producing at least. There was a trend. You could see that.
Yeah.
This is just this is really bottoming out. And again, as awkward as it's going to be to say, I don't necessarily blame the players or the staff here. They don't have the support from up top here. And quite frankly, these are guys that shouldn't be in this position.
Yeah. I agree.
These are largely guys that, frankly, we should be about to talk about next week in the Frontier League preview going, yeah, they may be a contributor for Gateway. They could add something of value there. And then some of these guys, to be honest with you, we should be talking about like, yeah, I think they'll be great with Billings.
Yeah, and I think the tone with them for me has been to this point the way that we were talking about like the Empire State Grays.
Yeah.
Where, you're not really super critical of the guys on the team. They're in a bad situation. They're doing their best with it, but last year, for context, Hagerstown started the season off their first 9 games. They went 1-8 as well. What a comp. Hold on. So through 9 games this season, both teams, so Staten Island is 1-8. Hagerstown was 1-8 last season. Last season, okay, so Staten Island this year, their run differential is minus 55 through those 9 games. Hagerstown's run differential through those 9 games was minus 32. And it's not like, well, was Hagerstown like maybe just kind of getting unlucky? No, they would still be the worst in this division by 13 runs in run differential, if not for Staten Island.
Jesus.
Yeah, man. Like, this is a historically bad start.
I mean, like, to wrap up the Staten Island point, right? You got to wonder where it goes from here.
I don't know. I hear nothing but bad things looming for the future of that organization, unfortunately.
So what I'm hearing is if we want to see a Ferry Hawks game, we probably should put that in the docket sooner than later.
I believe so. So for those of you just joining us, because I think I just did a bunch of math and searching.
There's a lot of editing that went on between.
There's going to be some editing here. But what we found is not only are they significantly, the current Staten Island Ferry Hawks significantly worse than Hagerstown was at their point when they were 1-8 last season when it comes to run differential. We compared them to the last Empire State Grays team from 2023 over in the Frontier League, which was famously a disaster. And they were actually 2-7 in their first 9 games. So boom. And they also had a minus 15 run differential, significantly better than what we're seeing from Staten Island right now with a minus 55. So that's something.
Yeah, it's horrendous. That's what it is. An abomination. I mean, like, I hate being negative. I say as we continue to be negative, but like, this is such a bad team, man.
Yeah, it's a tough look for the whole league at this point.
A homework assignment for you because you're, artistic enough to do this. I wonder how they're going to rank against the worst road team in Atlantic League history.
Oh.
Don't do that now.
Yeah, I won't. I'll keep in mind, though.
But yeah, keep that in mind because I want to know how to compare to like the Black Diamonds or the Road Warriors. It's going to be curious. Anywho, positive teams to talk about though would actually be the aforementioned Hagerstown Flying Boxcars because they're 7-2. They look like a legitimate team, and they're honestly pretty fun to watch. I've caught a couple of their games. They're a high flying offense, pun intended, and they just keep on battling, and frankly, the other Maryland team's pretty fun too. High run differential. Frankly, probably should have more wins than they do. Losing a game to, the team we just talked about isn't a great look, but hey, both Maryland teams are fun teams to watch. I'm enjoying their games, and I look forward to them playing against each other sooner than later. I don't know the exact date. I'm still trying to figure out iScore as we go along here, so stick with me. But yeah, I really like both of these teams. They're fun teams to watch.
Yeah, oh God, for the amount of bad baseball we've talked about, there is a lot of good baseball happening here. And I want to go on the record because we just kind of bury nothing, did nothing but bury teams, frankly. I feel really bad about that. But yeah, I did just post something today about Maryland baseball supremacy. And I'm sure we're going to be like, we'll talk about this next week and both teams go 0-6 in the meantime. We'll be like, well, time to be negative. So who knows what we're asking for there, but Yeah, man. Get some old bail on that thing, huh?
Ooh, 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 good news, because I had to do this the control F way on the Atlantic Lake site. We get our first 3-game set, looks like, of Hagerstown at Southern Maryland in just a couple weeks. Looks like May 12th through May 14th. We get 3 games, including a coffee cup game.
Hell yeah, baby.
Which, if you notice,
I'm gonna put out coffee cup standings once we get all the leagues going, I think.
This is good because Hagerstown's hopping on the board with that.
Yeah, man. They're getting after it.
Verbal wildfire calling it a coffee cup game.
Yeah. I was like, yeah. I don't know, man. I got moments. They know what I'm about. I don't want to what's his face in. Hold on one sec.
I was going to say, do you have any fancy stats about either Maryland?
I don't actually have them ready, but I should have a good, I'm planning when I launch the coffee cup for the year to have some good stats sort of ready to roll on that one. But I was thinking of who was it who's always been attentive to the coffee cup. Yeah, I think Jordan Nicewarmer, I think is his name. I feel bad.
Hold on, he always likes the tweets.
Yeah, Jordan Nicewarmer. There we go. He's always been a supporter of the coffee cup, and by the way, that's saying something because the first couple of years, Hagerstown was just getting absolutely murked in the coffee cup. So, shout out.
He found it fun to follow along with, and we appreciate that kind of a thing. Yes, speaking of Hagerstown, just some impressive performances so far. But honestly, both catchers here, Robert Brooks has looked very good. Drawn 11 walks. Honestly, the whole team's drawing walks. We got a guy with 12 and Jared Carr, 13, and Alex Isola, 11 from Robert Brooks. They're getting on base, these on base fiends. There's some guys striking out a lot. Rodriguez, 18 Ks. Don't love that from him. But hey, when the team's rolling, we don't care about cases. When the team's not rolling, that we start to care about dead end at bats. But yeah, honestly, Isola and Brooks are both really doing great. They're both slugging over 400. Same thing with Williams. And on base wise, Brooks is over 1,000. Good for him. It's early going here, only 27 at bats, but like still means something.
OPS wise, I thought you said on base wise. I was like, wait, how has he done this?
No. I was on base.
He just strolling out to first base randomly, and no one's calling him on it.
Hey, Brett Beatty found a way to have an on-base lower than his batting average. So
yeah, fact.
Yes. Any case, though, yeah, this is a Hagerstown team that is coming out. They're firing on all cylinders. They're finding ways to get on base. They're scoring a lot of runs. They're a fun team to watch here. I wish we had actually stolen bases or something like that. This was easily accessible, but it does not seem to be the case here. Got sacrifice hits, but we don't have stolen bases. Interesting.
Yeah. There's some work that needs to be done. It should be mentioned because we talked about it. I mean, the stat site for iScore is good. It's a good base. There's definitely a lot of fine tuning that needs to happen here, but I do think it's a good the general feedback I've gotten from around at least the Atlantic League and as some of the other teams or leagues have used it, just sort of tinkering with it, is definitely they like it more than point streak, and they definitely like home team more than they like flow. So, hey, we're going in the right direction. And I think some of the user interface stuff is going to get a little better. Need to get these damn stats on Baseball Reference. This isn't okay. But other than that, I think we're doing,
yeah,
okay. We're getting there now.
Slowly but surely, we're getting there. But yeah, Hagerstown pitching performance has also been pretty good. Stars have been showing up, and that's good to see here. I'll be more interested to see as we get further into the year and guys start getting stretched out and whatnot, how this winds up looking at. But early on, it looks like we're getting some good performances. Cole Rowland also living up to the billing. Love to see that.
These have been well-constructed teams. Okay, here. Which team between the two Maryland teams is more likely to stay in first place?
I'm inclined to say Southern Maryland just because I don't like the South.
I think it could be considered that maybe Brett Jody has that black magic when it comes to making a team without roster restrictions like the American Association has.
Oh, you mean when he has a budget?
Yes. Which shout out to Lincoln's GM heading out. But
he said, I'm done with this shit.
Big dog. I I mean,
We
I
haven't really talked about Southern Maryland yet either. I do want to have that conversation with
right.
them about them.
My quick reflex is I think Hagerstown's a better chance. I think
That was
Southern
my
Maryland,
yeah.
they're playing to tinker with that roster. I think they're off to a hot start and they've caught some teams while they're down. I think Hagerstown's had a bit of the same benefit, but I believe in Minakazi's ability to build as he goes. Remember what we've learned about his, we talk about second half with him, but he has made a second half push to the playoffs before. He almost did it with the Genomes. He did it with Charleston. And as we know at Staten Island, by the end of the season, they were telling guys that they had to like bring in only local dudes. So who knows there? I think Mark is more, he has more frequently had to build toward a second half run and like protect than than like the Southern Maryland crew right now, who's just, it's Brett and some first timers on that one, right? It's a good team, but like it takes experience. I think Hagerstown is more likely for that reason. And also Southern Maryland is being chased by Gastonia, High Point, and Charleston, who I still think will be quality teams. Hagerstown, York is good, but a little sketchy. Staten Island's awful. Lancaster's bad. And I think Long Island does have the potential to spiral out or continue to lose guys to signings and just not catch momentum. So I still think Hagerstown might have the better shot.
I hear that, but I still just think as of right now, I'd like Long Island to keep it together and be able to replenish better. I like the ability of York to catch back up and get to where they are. And admittedly, the other two are dead end teams at the moment. So there is what it is. But Lancaster is still Lancaster. They have that wild card ability. On the flip side with the South, it's one of those things here, right? Where until I see them contend, I'm not totally sold on it. High Point's not looking great. They're more of a next week conversation. Charleston's still very much up in the air. So until they get the pitching, they don't have the pitching. Lexington is Lexington. And that leaves you with really Gastonia. And again, like, I'm kind of in the same boat with them as I was last year, where it's like, I really need to see you do it before I start believing in your ability to do it consistently. And right now, they seem to be about the same level of team as York is, just judging off of that series. Those are close games that they're playing there. They may be getting wins, but they're one-run wins. Those are coin flips. They can go either way. So I put them in the same kind of tier there. So we're going to say we have one York team. There's no real Long Island comparable in the South right now. And then you look at the bottom two, and I'll grant you, there's no team in the South that's as bad as Staten Island is. And frankly, Lancaster's probably worse than the other two bottom teams, but I don't think it's by that large of a margin at the moment. That may change in the coming weeks, but as of right now, I don't think it's that big of a gap right now. So I just look at the total bodies of work.
Yes. And despite all that, can I just, I get asked a lot who I root for, and a lot of people assume like Lancaster or something just because they're the closest team to me. Not really. I don't really have rooting interest between teams. I usually root for what I think will be the most, either the best for indie ball or the most entertaining option, right? What will be the most fun thing to watch go down? Can we imagine a world where Hagerstown and Southern Maryland hang on to these first half leads? And then that gives us in the North, Long Island, Lancaster, and York brawling for one playoff spot, and then Gastonia, Lexington, or Gastonia, High Point, and Charleston fighting for one spot, because those teams are all operating with the assumption. Now, Southern Maryland, by the way, is not a bad team last year. Like, they were not the bottom feeders that they had the potential to be prior to that.
Yeah, they were just an incomplete team.
Right. So like, it's not that nobody was counting Southern Maryland as a good team, but it has been Gastonia, High Point, Charleston for a number of years now. So in either one of that trio of teams on both sides have been like, okay, one of us is going to get that first half and then it's going to leave the other two to fight for that last spot. And now all of a sudden it might be, oh God, it's going to be the three of us fighting for one spot in the second half. The desperation would be so good. Like the level of, like, I love the idea of Gastonia and High Point playing second half games where neither of them have a playoff spot locked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
stakes on that. Even better yet, for me, the dream scenario is, and I know we're way too early. We're 9 games into a 126 game season. We're not anywhere near the end. But if we were to have, Hagerstown, Southern Maryland win both halves to open up 2 wildcard spots for those, like, what would it be? 4 teams. I think that would be the most fun possibility. We have everybody buzzing around trying to get 2 spots. So maybe you get both North Carolina teams. Maybe you get Hagerstown and York. Maybe you see Lancaster fighting to try and get that spot there. I think that would be the most fun possibility.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. That's a good call by you, actually.
That's the chaos scenario right there, which is still way too early to even discuss, but just the early going, the way too early take possibility of that happening, it's just enough to get me giddy.
Yeah. And by the way, you know what else gets me giddy and goes, is when I tweet out that stat I had earlier about how bad the start to the year that Staten Island's had compared to Empire State and Hagerstown from prior years. Yeah. And you like it twice with different accounts. Love you. Don't change. And then I get a like from just like a Joe burner account. Fascinating.
Oh, I wonder who that burner belongs to.
Right. I know.
So I think that's a good amount of Atlantic League talk to start it off here. I don't know how much of that conversation survives or what survives from it, but it was a good amount of talking about the Atlantic League. So just quickly, because I don't know how much there is to really say about it, but the big house ball game, I do think it warrants a conversation. Mm-hmm. How often do you get a game in a prison? So immediate takeaways here. I saw a good chunk of it, but not all of it. It seemed like a pretty good atmosphere, all things considered. The rain was a bit of a drawback here. I would be a lot more critical of it if it was a regular season game. But the fact that it's just an exhibition preseason game makes me very forgiving to it, admittedly. Although I was getting some strong, like, Little League park vibes with the chain link fencing around, and really, probably at those unis looked like the local deli was sponsoring you. But hey, I'm still down with it because, frankly, it's a vibe, and I think we need more vibe baseball games. So, I liked it.
I thought it was fun. People seem like genuinely excited about it. The buzz on socials was really, really impressive. I saw a lot of other accounts positive. People seem to have fun. I think people went in with a realistic expectation as well that, there's not going to be enough seating. It was limited seating right around the field, and then there was like a GA section. And because you knew that buying tickets, I think everybody went in with like, okay, it's clearly not a baseball stadium. They had to do like special ground rules. I think everybody, it was just a truly unique thing. I don't know how many people have the opportunity to even go there. I'm sure they do tours or something, but how many people, have the opportunity to do this? Like every once in a while you'll see like they showed up and you'll do like, you'll occasionally see people doing something like this, but never with like a crowd who can also experience it too. And it's a cool thing to see. And one of those things I always think about, I'm always in favor of things where one day a parent is driving their kid past that place and they go, the old prison, I saw a professional baseball game there, and like that is cool, man. And I think they did a good job. Yeah. By the way, Bill Murray being there is huge.
Yeah.
He's showing up, doing the damn work.
I forget he's a partial owner in like several ball clubs.
Yeah. I love that for him. The broadcast had good energy to it. They had some broadcast issues. Like they were silent for a while, and it was because it started raining and they had to quickly cover everything. I get it. I mean, they're doing the early season, pains that you have with the broadcast and doing it in a less than ideal situation. So gave them a lot of room. I frankly did not remember how much I liked the Joliet broadcast. It's pretty good. And they did a really nice job. Good energy. It felt like they had either off the cuff or prepared. Doesn't really matter. They had a lot of solid lines, one-liners, connecting the environment. They didn't let you forget the environment, even when it hit the rhythm of just like the game is going on. I always hate when it's like, oh, crazy environment. And then after like a couple innings or like the game gets going a little bit, depending on the sport, it's like, okay, this could be happening anywhere. They like kind of kept bringing it up. They kept alluding to it. I don't know. It was good. It was fun.
Yeah, no, I like that. That was a nice change of pace, nice different thing here. I'm going to say Oakland needs to play a game at Alcatraz now, though. I don't know how they're going to make that work, but I'm sure they can figure something out.
I mean, they've already played in a public park.
Exactly. So might as well play in a national historic site.
Right. or
And
just the
then,
Pecos will expand again. Uh,
but yeah, no, overall, I thought it was really nice. I do think we need to see more of these kind of like one-off exhibitions here played in, untraditional environments. Like maybe they'll play an exhibition game in like, I don't know, Hinchcliffe or something like that. That could be fun for a one-off. Certainly not for a full season though. That get a little bit much.
nice, good call.
Yeah.
I will always say I'm always one of my many. So now you're partners with them. Is when Major League Baseball. Well, Major League Baseball, I saw, or at least minor league baseball, Ben Hill, who's great, not harassing Ben Hill, but Ben was out at Joliet. I was like, oh, that's not minor leagues. That's a partner league. Oh, you actually acknowledge those? That's cool. But then I always look at when they do actually they're bringing back this year, the Field of Dreams game. And because they played a minor league game there too. I'm like, hey, we got plenty of Midwest rural teams out there. What are you talking about? I don't know.
It is kind of interesting how partner league is pick and choose application.
Yeah, it really is. It seems to just be a control mechanism. What a world.
Certainly is interesting. But before we wrap it up here, on the realm of unconventional ballpark areas, got any places in particular you'd want to see one of these games? Obviously, exhibition. I don't think regular season is the way to go for this.
Like you mean like a weird?
Yeah, weird environment. Yeah.
I think the North Carolina teams. The problem is doing the setup is, clearly not fully cost prohibitive, but something. I would have been interested in seeing some of the North Carolina teams try to play Bowman Gray, maybe. Okay. I think that would have been really cool. I wouldn't mind. I think there's more flexibility with our teams in indie ball where I could definitely see some sort of like partnership for backyard baseball and play on fields sort of reminiscent. You know what I mean? Like play at like a place that feels like Tin Can Alley, play like a beach exhibition, something stupid. Like it doesn't need to be overly, like I'm not even saying as serious as this was, just from a content perspective could be fun. But if we're talking
play in Miles Wolf's backyard.
Facts. Thinking a legit exhibition game though. That's a tough one. I think, by the way, I do like what the Savannah Bananas did tonight. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, they went on stage. I see.
No, they went to the random high school in Texas.
Yeah, it was like, it wasn't just a random high school. They were on stage with the band.
Well, I don't know. There was like 1,000 people. They basically said, they announced it today that they were doing it, and they were like, first 1,000 get in.
Yeah, no, they were with the All-American Rejects, dude. That's.
Oh, they did the backyard thing too?
Yeah.
Like backyard vibe. I knew that, Jesse had been like kind of flirting with that idea and like literally talking to them about it. So that's kind of funny. They actually execute on it. Let me see. I'm trying to think. I know I have a good one and I want to get a good one in there before we're out of here. Let me think. Do you have anything in mind?
I was trying to think if there was some way you could play a beach game.
Pack that sand pretty tight.
Yeah.
Injury makes me nervous.
Yeah. So that was one thing there. I'm trying to think if there's any other like team in an interesting spot here. I suppose like a Brockton playing at Lexington and Concord could be kind of fun, but again, you run into the obvious thing of like it's a historic site, so you can't really terraform the land all that much. It's one thing when it's a prison yard and it's like, well, it's dirt, so like who cares? So another thing was an actual battlefield. Yeah, it was things like that where I was thinking, because like I'm also trying to keep it semi-local here. Yeah, those are really what I was thinking. Unless you wanted to go ahead and bring back the old play at Doubleday Field up in Cooperstown, but that's been done before, so.
I mean, in a different political environment, I wouldn't hate like a border game, U.S. and Canada.
That could be fun.
Or, if there was a team out in Vancouver, like playing in one of those spots where there's like the weird school that's like a school district, or that you have to like travel to their country to get to your own school. Or, I mean, Laredo literally has like the back and forth thing going on where they play, and maybe they're still not doing it this season. I need to check in on the Mexican League, but forgive me if I'm wrong, but they have done at least home games in both the US and Mexico, which is kind of a fun vibe. And I'm trying to think, like, are there any other ones that could be that? I think the thing that I really want to see is, and we've talked about this before, I want to see the 2-park doubleheader. I think Staten Island and Long Island can do it. I think High Point and Gastonia can do it. I think even all the Chicago area teams clearly can pull it off. Yeah, Lancaster, New York is the one.
Really, New Jersey, Essex, or New York could all do it with any of those.
Absolutely. I think it would be awesome, and I think it would be a really good thing. I think both you could sell a package that includes a bus ride to the other stadium. I think it would be awesome if it was, if you're in a metro area, even, use public transportation, whatever you want to do. I think it would be the content. If you use public transportation, of the players on public transportation as well, would be really good. I think that is probably always my big one. I mean, I check every local like team nearby me, like easily drivable, at least so like to see if I can pull a doubleheader. I don't think York and Lancaster ever really lines up for one, but just the day game to a night game, I think it's awesome. And I think it would be a really fun idea.
Yeah, I think it has to be like an 11 o'clock and a 6:30 start time though, to keep that in between.
Yeah, maybe it depends. Like if it's keep
in mind, there's the logistics of moving all the equipment.
Right. It would be the thing of, it'd be a general, basically the same road trip setup as always. So like the away team is packed before the game even starts. Once the game starts, the home team starts packing up. I mean, you can probably have most of the gear waiting, a lot of the gear at least, waiting at the other stadium, even if you play your cars. And that's specific to, the one that's always in my head is Newark Lancaster, because it's like a 20-minute drive. So that's the one, it's clearly the most doable. You can even keep normal like 1 o'clock, 7 o'clock, or 6:30, noon, 6:30, something like that, game times, and pull it off. I just think it's doable. Problem is, so here's the issue, right? In order to make it really work, it has to be a weekend, which means you're doing a weekend doubleheader. So that's uncomfy, but it doesn't hurt if you market it right, because you might be able to actually sell more tickets to it. Like you might actually come out okay.
Yeah, but it's a very tough gamble to make, because if you're already thinking you're going to do well on the weekend, then like why risk it?
I agree. I understand that. Maybe it's a Memorial Day.
I was thinking a different summer holiday that's newer. Do a Juneteenth one.
Yeah.
Because people have off for that now. And it's kind of more of a awkward day. If it falls in the middle of the week, it's the perfect situation where you're like, hey, it's a Thursday game. What the hell, right?
Yeah. No, that's not a bad thought. I don't know. I like that one. I think that's one, by the way, that we could probably, I bet we could be a supporter of that idea in a way that kind of gets that, gets it at least a nudge.
I'm willing to wager there's a few Frontier League organizations where if we were to pitch this in the right way to them, they'd be very receptive to it.
I mean, I know. I'm just thinking about how could I push this on the right people, but it is occurring to me now. I'm like kind of surprised I haven't pushed harder on that over time. Weird Ryan vibes.
So those are kind of our weird game ideas, thoughts on the big house game, and general thoughts so far on the old Atlantic League. So that's kind of where we're bringing this one to a wrap at, because I'm already going to have to do a hell of a job on this edit, and I'm very curious to see how I'm going to do this. So we'll go to some plugs. We'll get out of here. It's a little bit of a disheveled week, but it'll happen like that. But I think we covered a lot of good ground, so it's all right.
I also think we're sort of still getting in the rhythm of how we doing content at the start of the season, and we're also still doing preseason stuff. So it's like, whoo.
Yeah, this like the most this is your Christmas New Year week at work, right? Where you're like, there's 5 days here between holidays right now, so I don't really know how to approach this, because we're going to be going right back into previews for the 3 weeks after this, and then we'll be back into the swing of it. So by June, we'll hit our stride. Surely
next month. That's me going, the content's going to drop next week.
Where would they find that content?
Indie Ball Nation, Instagram, YouTube, podcast platforms. Tryout videos in their final form are coming out, and then it is on to season content next week, as you and I were just discussing. I think I've kind of settled in on what I want to do with it. This week has been familiarizing myself with iScore and catching up on the stat collecting that I didn't get to do in that first week, and we are getting it cooking a little bit here, man. I'm feeling good. And by feeling good, I mean panicked.
He's ready to cook. That's what he's saying.
Nightmare.
That's what life is, and then eventually it stops. IndieBall Pod, IndieBall Report, everywhere else. Y'all know already the deal. You've listened to this spiel 370 times, so why is this any different? We're going to try to come up with something once we get out of, preseason mode. The lead up into it, doing all the previews and whatnot, take up the overwhelming majority of everyone's time. So we got to get through that before we do anything else. But once we get to that, then we're good to go. So look forward to all that. All right, we've reached the end of the road. Until next time, don't forget to play ball.